Hello, this is John Harrigan with part 4 of the story of my life and how the secret to immortality came about. In the previous video, I shared a really difficult year of my life, 14 to 15. I went through a really harsh and difficult time, had a bad drug experience, supposedly LSD, too much strychnine, which almost killed me, and methamphetamine, according to the person that sold it to me, who gave me a heartfelt apology. But anyway, that really injured my nervous system completely and my brain, and I struggled for a year in a lot of pain and discomfort. And after a year of that, in bed at night, one night, I really felt I couldn't go on any longer. I'd seen doctors, asked for help, and nobody at the time understood what had happened to me. I couldn't get any help, and there was literally nothing on earth that could save me or do anything for my life to continue. So I made a heartfelt prayer, and that prayer, which kind of sounds laughable today, but it was a powerful prayer. That prayer was, God, do something or I'm cashing in my chips. I was literally at the end of the road. And what I started to share in the end of the last video, I started to share this beautiful, wonderful miracle experience where I was healed about 1/3. And I'm going to go back into telling you in this video a little more about the beginning of that experience, and a lot more that I didn't share in the last video of the further part of that experience and what I learned and what I understood about my life, and really how the secret to immortality, what we teach right now at immortalnow.com, how the secret to immortality was built and formed and created out of this sort of white light God experience in the midst of crisis. So often crisis, if we reach out, can give us the most wonderful, life-changing experience of our life. So what happened? I said this prayer. I had been suffering really horribly for about a year. Now understand, it's a long time away from that experience. I've healed, mostly, not completely. Life is pretty good now, and I can laugh about it because I was saved from my hardship and my distress and my alienation from life itself. I said that prayer at the end of that difficult 15, 16-year-old year. I said that prayer, God, do something or I'm cashing in my chips. I was very serious when I made that prayer. And really, it came from a deeper part of myself than I even knew existed. And the instant that I said that prayer, I found myself in what I call heaven, nirvana. If you're not religious, you can call it anything you want, just a beautiful place of perfect, unending, infinite love. I found myself sitting next to my divine Father. I don't know what else to call this being. Was it a man? I can't say that really in this place that the sexes exist exactly as they do here, but for me, I understood that I was sitting next to my divine Father who had created me, literally, and had given me life. And as I sat next to this Father, I'm in agony and pain, okay? I'm in bed at night, late at night. I'm so uncomfortable, I don't think I can continue living another moment. And I made a heartfelt prayer, and that miracle happened. Suddenly, I was sitting next to my divine Father in a heavenly place, but I was still very aware of being in my body, in my bed. I wasn't somewhere else. I didn't leave my body. I didn't have really a traditional near-death experience, though my experience is very similar. I was sitting next to this perfect divine Father, and I, too, was a perfect divine Son, as I would suggest all of us are, perfect children of someone or something that gave rise to us. And I suggest all of us at our core, in our soul, no matter what you believe, there is a perfect, infinite love to be found as who we are. And that's what I teach in the secret to immortality, and that's what I show you how to find in yourself, to find this infinite, unending you, without beginning, without death, without pain, without hardship. So I was sitting next to my divine Father in this place of infinite perfect love, and sitting next to my Father, I was infinite perfect love, but not as much as my Father. My Father in this place, the source of life, if you will, if you're not religious, think of it as the source of all life, the perfect, absolute source of all life. You can call it that. That's perfectly accurate, I think. I too was the perfect source of all life. I had everything my Father had, but my Father, very much an individual, not who I am. I'm an individual, John Harrigan. In that heavenly place, there's no need for names, but I am an individual, John Harrigan, as you are all individuals, and my Father was an individual too, a different individual, but not separate from me. Because in perfect love, none of us are separate or apart from each other. We just add to that sort of perfect love presence. As we live our lives on earth, this is what I learned, this is what I instantaneously understood. As we live our lives on earth, happy, sad, successful or not, simply by living a life on earth, we're adding to the greatness of heaven, so to speak. And what I found out instantaneously as I was in this heavenly place is that we're in this heavenly place now. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed in my body. I experienced all of heaven and my divine Father in this physical place on earth. And what happened to me is I slowly, after just who knows how long, sitting next to my Father, because there is no time in this place, it's without beginning or end, and because of that, this heavenly place, which is right here on earth, and I'll go into that later, when there is no time or space, when there is no time, beginning and end, life is much more real and much more immediate, because all of who you are is present in that one infinite moment, the eternal now, or the immortal now. And that's why I call our website immortalnow.com, because I'm talking and teaching about that heavenly place. I'm getting a little excited and ahead of myself because I love what I teach so much. I want you all to get everything right away and right now. And it doesn't work like that. I didn't get everything right away and right now after I resolved back into my body, but I was in this beautiful, perfect heavenly consciousness with a higher power at my side. I was perfect higher power consciousness in my being. I was much younger in a way, in this heavenly place with no time, with no beginning or end. We're much more immediate, but we're perfectly loved, perfectly compassionate. There is no injury or hardship in us. I have the memories of over 1,000, give or take over 1,600 lifetimes, as I've shared in previous videos that you can go back to and listen to. I'm not going to go into that. But my purpose in this lifetime is to live the fulfillment of human potential. And as I live into that, teach it and bring others along with me. And that's what we do at ImmortalNow.com. So relaxing into the peace and calm of this heavenly place. I don't know how long I was there. And I'm in it now as I'm talking to you. And some of you may be in it as I'm speaking, and you can learn how to be in your perfect soul, your perfect self, your perfect being. Religious, not religious, in between, it doesn't matter. If you're alive right now and listening to me, I suggest that you have a perfect core of gold inside you can access, understand, and live with in infinite peace and bliss. That's the secret to immortality that was being born in the story at the time I'm telling you about right now. So hardship, pain, and misery, of about a year from a horrifying drug experience that left me very injured with my nervous system and my brain, with severe PTSD, suffering horribly untreated. Today they would know instantly what to do, but back then they didn't. Suffering with this horrible PTSD, either being triggered back into that horrible drug experience or being afraid I'd be triggered back any moment. I came to the proverbial end of the road. There's nothing on earth that could help me. And I'm telling this story basically so you, no matter what you've been through in life, you will fully understand and get that it doesn't matter. No matter how hard and difficult your life is this very moment, you can get the secret to immortality. You can transform all of that hardship, pain, and death into the fullness of eternal life, into joy, bliss, happiness, and peace. Every painful, difficult thing that's happened to you in this life or in other lives that you may remember, all of that can be turned around into the foundation, the beautiful, perfect, strong, infinitely strong foundation of who you are in this life now. And that's why I share with you the hardships of my life, so you will know with absolute certainty you can come through any hard and difficult thing that you've been through in this life and be the best you could imagine. And you can use those hardships that you've been through or that you've seen other people go through that have affected you. You can use all these harsh life experiences as an incredible foundation. They just turn around into their opposite, into a strength, an incredible foundation of happiness, bliss, and eternal love and joy. I was in terrible pain and hardship. I made a prayer. I found myself in this perfect heavenly consciousness on earth, not somewhere else, not out of my body, on earth as who I am. I felt this perfect, infinite, beautiful love as my being, as all of creation, sitting next to my Father that was just infinitely greater than I was at the time. And I understood completely who I was. I was growing, evolving to be as my Father and to do what my Father is doing, but on earth in a physical body, with all of you doing the same thing on earth in a physical body. So I was in this beautiful, heavenly, perfect God consciousness, heavenly place in my body on earth. But I was 100% focused in this perfect place of love. So I wasn't really experiencing the injury to my brain and my nervous system and the pain in my body that really existed. So after a while in this perfect nirvana, heavenly consciousness, in my body on earth, after a while I started to really focus on the here and now more. It's kind of as if you were reading a wonderful book that took you to a beautiful place and you had to put the book down and attend to your daily tasks in front of you. So I slowly put away the heavenly experience of perfect consciousness and I resolved back into my physical and injured body completely. But what I noticed as I focused back into the here and now of the physicality of my body and earth, as I focused back more and more into my body, looking around my room, everything I thought about, every difficult thing, a family member, one was having a difficult time, when I thought of this family member, that infinite love and perfect compassion of heaven flowed through me to that person, unimpeded. And when I thought of world problems, any problem, I thought of a lot of problems. As I did think of these problems on earth, I felt the infinite grace of compassion come through my body, my brain, and my nervous system unimpeded. And I went, wow, this is what all the mystic masters, the spiritual masters of history and times that weren't even written about, this must be what they were talking about. Our physical purpose, our destiny as humans is to be this perfect compassion and love on the planet physically, and to just channel this as who we are, connected to an infinite compassion and bliss, to just have this to give to the planet. And as that happened to me, as I saw what was possible, I went, oh, okay. And I was raised in actually a very nice Episcopal Christian church with a lot of unity literature and unity ideas. So I was raised kind of with a universal attitude that our higher power, our God exists everywhere in all religions. So the secret to immortality, what I teach, what we teach at ImmortalNow.com, it belongs to you. It belongs to everybody. If you're a devout atheist, it doesn't matter. You can find that perfect core of who you are and call it whatever makes sense to you, because that is you, who you are, right in the here and now. It's not heaven, it's not the hereafter. We don't talk about the hereafter much in the secret to immortality, because we're talking about the immediate now, the immortal now. So I'm in this experience. I'm resolving, suffering horribly. I said a deep prayer. I found myself in this heavenly place, this heavenly consciousness, this eternal light and bliss. And I was resolved and focused back to the here and now. I had this perfect, unimpeded compassion coming from this heavenly place where we really are, here now on earth. And I realized it's everyone's destiny to have this perfect, unending, infinite love to give every problem. Whew. I'm being kind of overwhelmed with it. I'm being overwhelmed with this perfect love consciousness as I'm talking to you, and it's changing me. And this is what we have for you at ImmortalNow.com. You too can transform and be changed as is happening to me now. I'm in this heavenly place of perfect love and bliss and good right now as I speak, and it's still having an effect on me. I'm not a perfect saint on earth. I'm still processing, but I've done a lot of processing into this heavenly place in the last few decades and more. And we're here at ImmortalNow.com with this secret to immortality, which is what is happening right now in this video. The secret of you, the secret of me. I had the hard, difficult experience. I made the prayer. I'm in a heavenly place. I'm resolving back into my body, and I'm realizing that I was instantly healed by this experience, but only about 1/3. And as I was healed about 1/3, instantly I went, oh, thank goodness, thank God, I can continue living my life.